Hello, dear aquarist, dear discus keeper or discus lover. Today, a video about a diseased discus. Yes, we are not happy when our discus fish become sick, but unfortunately, this sometimes happens, and I hope my videos help you to understand why this can happen and what you can do about it. So I share you today an examination I did on discus that came from an Asian breeder. I will not tell the source, it's no use to tell where exactly the fish came from. But the discus fish had gill flukes and a bacterial infection. Try to read my books, try to obtain my books, especially the new illustrated guide has many details on discus diseases, on medications and what you can do to prevent and how to treat your discus fish. Here I show you the damaged discus fish in the tank. You see they're hanging in the corner. It even looks like discus pest or discus AIDS. It's a common name given to a discus fish that's becoming dark and hanging in the corner. And that's how they look like with extra mucus and the lesions, the wounds. Well, you would suspect, well, they have a bacterial infection, so we have to give an antibiotic. Yes, might be true, but an examination told us something different. That's the fish we examined, and you can see the damage on the skin, the extra mucus uh, of the fish, the skin patches with bacterial infection, of course. The discus had some very small holes here. It's hard to see in this picture, but there were some small holes appearing in the gill cover. Sometimes secondary lesions of the lateral line organ that has a weakening process and is losing its structure. So they call it therefore a lateral line erosion. Could be starting here, but it was not obvious on other parts of that fish. When we took a skin scraping, we determined a large amount of excessive mucus on the scales, sometimes called discus pest. And what we found on the gills, well, easy to see when you examine the gills of a fish that is dying. One example that is sacrificed, and that showed us that there were gill flukes. And those gill flukes cause damage. They cause wounds in the gill tissue. They cause a risk of penetration or invasion of pathogenic bacteria, and that can make the fish sick. And after the dissection, well, some of the organs did not look so good, not so easy to see with the naked eye. That's why we need to have a microscope. And then we noticed in the spleen all those dark patches, which are melanomacrophage centers, the macrophage that are defending the fish, helping to, how can I say, eliminate or and cover up the bacteria that are invading the spleen. And we saw bad strings in the liver, can be called like liver cirrhosis, of course, having a poor liver quality. So the spleen is bad, the liver is bad. And then in the abdominal fluid, we found a massive amount of bacteria. You can see them moving here. You see the thousands of tiny spots moving, which are bacteria. Let me show you again. You see the tiny black and whitish spots, maybe 2, 3 different kinds of bacteria. And certainly some might be pathogenic when you looked at the organs, the spleen and the liver I showed you in the previous slides. So the treatment for the discus, treat the gill flukes as soon as possible because they are damaging and weakening the fish. And I would recommend to combine that anti-gill fluke treatment with an antibiotic or an antibacterial medication to control the secondary bacterial infection, because the bacterial infection eventually kills the fish. Medication, see my books, ask your vet, ask your fish doctor, or ask your good aquarium or pet shop. They should get you the appropriate products that are available on the market. Such fish, when you see those arriving with those patches, make sure you use proper quarantine so they do not infect the other fish in your home aquarium. See my training on Patreon, specific training on quarantining fish. And you can help with a functional fish food that helps to fight this infection, and we would recommend Dr. Bassleer Fish Food Garlic. That would help the fish. My books on fish diseases, if you don't have them yet, try to get them so you educate yourself on fish diseases. Or also go to my Patreon training you can get, and my books are available on this link also below. We give you the link where you can obtain products, you can obtain advice, you can obtain training. Do what you can, but specifically those people who are dealing with discus, or a trader or a breeder, importer, exporter. Very important that you train yourself in adequate prevention, diagnosis, and control fish diseases. Thank you for watching.